You probably clicked on this video because you're tired of wasting your time in the gym. I've reviewed over 100 different programs, whether if it's Instagram programs, PDFs, Google Images, coaches delivering it to different kinds of clients. The things I found is it's a lot of copy paste. And over reviewing all those programs, I came up with three that will work for anyone. And I know it's frustration. I've made those mistakes, but now I'm at the point where I'm doing enough, but not too much. So let's talk about it. What makes a program good? So it needs to consider time, it needs to consider energy, it needs to consider recovery, and some sort of progression along the way. A lot of programs gives you a bunch of exercises, normally 3 sets, normally between 8 to 12 reps. You need to have more in there. You need to have customization because we all have different goals. We all are at different points in our lives. Some of you work 50 hours, the other person works 60, some people work 80. So programs cannot be catered to everybody the same way. That's why generic programs normally get a lot of views when you look at the crazy hit workouts on Instagram, on YouTube. But for someone that has specific goals, that's not going to work. You need to have something specific to that person, which is the whole point here, which makes a program great for you in particular. So what does the average plan have wrong, or what does it miss? So like I said before, no flexibility, no progression. It's very cookie cutter. It doesn't cater to work. If you have to travel during work, stress, if you have kids, if you have a lot of responsibilities outside of your work, real life, okay? There's no education. It doesn't tell you why you're doing the specific workouts, why you superset, why you tricep, why you rest short times for a hit workout, for example. It doesn't give you details you need to know on why you're doing what you need to do as far as workouts. And it's not tailored to someone extremely busy, right? I had to change something because working in the military, doing the online coaching, doing school, doing a bunch of things at the same time, I cannot work out every day. It has to be streamlined. Streamlined in a way I'm still getting stronger, being relatively lean, eating in a way that I'm not going over my surplus by too much. If my goal is to gain weight, obviously I'll be in the surplus. If my goal is to maintain, I'll be in the maintenance, and so on. But I needed to make something different so that I'll not quit. And this is why I'm here for you that's busy. Okay, we need to streamline it. We need to make sure it fits you. Just because your friends work out every day doesn't mean that you can or you should. Okay, so a program needs to consider all those things. Your flexibility, progression. It can't be cookie cutter. It can't be as if you can do it every day. It has to give you some sort of information on why you're doing what, and it has to be tailored to your lifestyle at the end of the day. Okay, so signs of a fake program. So a lot of programs is marketing. So things like shed, tone. I wouldn't really say burn because that's a real thing, but shred, tone. You know, this fancy words people use to get in. Be mindful when you hear that. If you hear that stuff and the program doesn't adhere to any of these things, they don't consider any of these things, it's more likely not a really good program for you. It doesn't cater to you. It caters to the masses, which is not customized. Okay? The same plan for somebody at a different weight class. So somebody 150 versus somebody 200 pounds, you're not going to have the same exact program, the same exact macros, stuff like that. It has to be catered to you, basically. No recoveries, no deload. So in your program, you have to have recovery days, recovery weeks, depending on what type of program you have. If you're working out 2 days a week, you may not need a deload week. If you're working out every day, at some point during the month, you need to take a week off or something. If you're training every day, but if you're training 3 times a week, twice a week, it's different. So, but the program has to have some sort of recovery in there: stretching, yoga, steam rooms, stuff like that. Way too many exercises per workout. Normally, in a workout, if you're getting at least between 5 to 8, you're good to go. 4 sets each, and about 12 reps, depending on what muscle group it is. For lower body, 5 is good. For upper body, between 5 and 7, or 5 and 8. But you don't need to have 10 different movements. That's just way too much. So we're on to the good part. So what makes a plan good, and what makes a plan a game changer? These are the things I found with the 3 different splits that worked, and those 3 different splits had these things in consideration. So simplicity, some sort of progression each week. So each week the weights could be going up 5 pounds, or the resting times are shorter, or the total volume is more, the sets are more, the reps are more, stuff like that. You're progressing in some sort of way each week. Building recovery. You have recovery weeks, you have recovery days within the week, stuff like that. Time efficiency. So for me, I have some workouts that are actually between 15 and 20 minutes for the high intensity interval training ones, but for the weight training ones, it's between 45 to about, I'll say, 60. So about an hour, basically. So, but the workouts have to be time efficient. Not every workout needs to be an hour. Some could be less than 30. Some could be an hour, depending on your situation, depending on your schedule. Lifestyle adaptation. So again, the only way workouts will adapt to your life is if it's not every day. It cannot be every day, folks. You can do a lot with 3-day splits, 4-day splits, 5 if you're pushing it, but you don't need to be in every day. Okay, and depending on your body type, less could actually be beneficial, especially for someone that is a hard gainer. Working out more won't help you. Working out more won't help you, because the more I work out, the more I have to eat, and the more I have to eat, the more expensive it is. The more expensive it is, the more time you're allocating to this thing, which you don't want. So we want to streamline everything based on your body, your goals, and your capabilities at the moment, because the capabilities will increase, obviously, if progression is in there. So those are the 5 things programs need. Okay, it needs to be simple. You have to have some sort of progression. There needs to be recovery. It needs to be efficient. Okay, time and effort. It needs to adapt to your life, and it also needs to have some sort of mentality training. Okay, with all my students and clients, we do check-in calls where I check what the person has done for the week, and from there we can see what things we can do better, what things we can do we cannot repeat, I should say. And we also talk about things like mindset, because it's key. Mindset is key, because to be in shape and to maintain that and to sustain that for life, it's not easy for everybody, but in the beginning stages, this is what is required to succeed. So on to the 3 splits I found that worked the best. So you have push-pull legs, which is 3 times a week, or 6 if you want to push it, but I recommend 3. Why it works? It works because it's customizable and it's frequent. You can have the choice to have it frequently. So you can have your push, upper body push, which is chest, triceps, shoulders, upper body pull, which is your traps, back, biceps, and then leg day, hamstring, glutes, and quads. So 3 days. 3 days. You're good to go for the week after those 3 days. But for some people that may want to have an extra, you can then do that according to your own discretion. This one's extremely flexible. You can do push-pull legs once, which would be 3 days a week, or you can do it twice if you have that flexibility within your schedule, which is why it's so effective. Who 4 intermediate to advanced lifters. Common mistakes: doing 6 days with poor sleep and nutrition. So I don't recommend doing 6 days if your nutrition and sleep isn't on point yet. 3 would be a good start, and I recommend that. So a tip, like I said, 3 to 4 days. If you're gonna do 4, maybe split the leg day into 2 compartments. So you can do 1 quad focused day and do 1 hamstring focused day. That's actually what I'm currently doing right now. Push pull legs, but I split the legs in 2 days. Okay, which gives me a 4-day split. But the other one I found that worked is upper lower. So you're doing all of your upper body and all of your lower body. Really twice a week, but if you wanna hit parts that I didn't hit, you do it again. So you're doing push pull upper, push pull lower, and then you're repeating that again. So push pull upper could be chest, back, biceps, shoulders, all that. So basically your entire upper body. The negative to this one is it may take more time. Okay, so there's actually negatives to this one. But if you want to do it this way, you want to hit all your upper body, hit all your lower body, but streamline it to only 2 days of the week. It can be done, but the only thing is the upper body day will take longer. The lower body day won't take as long. Okay, so you have the option to do that twice or 4 times if you want to do each twice. The one that is the most effective for beginners, full body. So you can do that 3 days of the week. So you can do it on a Monday, a Wednesday, and possibly a Saturday. Okay, to give you days, give yourself days in between to recover. Okay. So who 4 beginners? Obviously, I said that before. Why it works is it's really efficient. You hit everything at least twice a week. Okay, which is ideal for a beginner. And for a beginner, almost anything will work as long as you keep the training going and make sure that you're eating enough. But after a certain point, you need to be more structured, if that makes sense. Common mistakes: trying to do too many exercises per session. Pro tip: focus on big lifts like your squats, your bench, your deadlift, overhead press, stuff like that. So that's in a nutshell the 3 splits that worked the best. Anything else is not going to be catered to you specifically because you are somebody that's definitely busy. So you need to find a way to not work out every day, to work out as little as possible, but in that tiny amount of time, be effective and efficient. Okay, so that essentially concludes my thoughts in my video. I have scenarios here, but I will not speak to it too much. I basically covered it the entire video, but I do encourage you, if you are somebody that's a busy professional, you're looking to get in shape, you're looking to create a healthy lifestyle, increase the mindset, have certain programs that cater to you, definitely comment below Mulo System. I have a group that I'm in the process of creating, which will cater to basic professionals. So there'll be workouts, there'll be weekly Q&As, there'll be a classroom where I break down specific avenues of training to help you streamline it, and so much more. But other than that, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you took something from this. May God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.